Is it? Hi. Oh my god, I thought I was gonna foam.
Me too.
I didn't think it would actually make the boom, like the noise. That was funny.
Nice.
I did it dramatically, like, because I thought I wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah.
But fuck it. Good.
Beautiful.
So pink.
Oh.
I don't know how much we're supposed to put.
Bubbly.
The job. So good.
It's so good. It tastes better because it's cold.
Yeah, last time it wasn't cold.
It wasn't cold, yeah.
It tastes way better.
But welcome to my second episode of Wine and Talk with my friends. If you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name's Valerie. I'm 23, and I live here in Italy. And I met Jessica
Through Facebook.
through Facebook. Yeah, so basically, she slid in my DMs.
Oh my god!
I saw that she lived like in the same town as I did, and I didn't have friends at the time. So I was like, let me request
First
her.
off, you sent me a friend request.
Yeah, I sent her a
first,
request.
and then I messaged you.
But I was gonna wait, like, okay, let me request her, and then like a few days later, I'm gonna hit her up. And then
But who does that? Like, who sends someone a friend request and then not?
I was
message?
shy. I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay, let me think about what I'm gonna say. How am I gonna like slide my way into friendship? Like,
I know. I was like, this girl is not messaging me. I was like, hi.
How are you? And now we're here, matching tattoos and all.
Oh yeah. Who would have thought that when we messaged each other on Facebook, like starting to like be friends, that we would end up like
Getting
tattoos together?
Not I. Like that meme where it's like, who would have thought? Not me.
We ended up getting close through hardships that we both went through.
Yeah. And so that's what like our tattoo has like meaning behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are waiting for one more friend to get one with
Yes,
us.
Daniela.
But she's currently in Indonesia.
Yes, with her family.
Must be nice.
I know. I'm like over here about to go back home. Well, I don't care to go back home. I just came.
But you're only gonna be gone
Yeah.
for,
like a few, not even 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks.
is it less than 2 weeks?
Yeah, because we leave the 3rd, but we don't. I mean, we technically get there the 3rd, but like at night.
Oh,
we're going back.
Back in time.
Yeah, and then we leave the 16th, but get here like the 17th.
Okay.
So it's like not. Is it 2 weeks? I don't know. I think it's like 10.
2 weeks
days.
is 14 days.
I can't do the math right now. Wait, it's 10.
This is.
I don't know. I'm not good at math, but it's almost.
Didn't
2
you
weeks.
get a good grade in math?
Yeah, but I use math software.
We have currently, shooting this video, we currently have 2 more days
Until the year ends.
until the end of 2020.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god, I've known you for like almost 6. No, wait. When did we start talking?
Was it like,
My husband went to the field, so that was like beginning August, I think. 5 months, almost 6 months already.
time goes by so fast. I feel like just yesterday I was messaging
Yeah.
you on Facebook.
And then I came over and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna come over whenever I want to.
I know, I feel like every weekend we have like a sleepover here.
Yeah.
That's why your friends are like, every time you go to that girl's house, you're
You're
always
eating,
drinking and
drinking.
eating.
Like, what else are we supposed to do in quarantine?
For real. Also, like, you live like 2 minutes away from me.
Literally, like on maps, her house is like right here, and there's like 2 streets, and then her house is right here.
I feel like that's why it's so easy for us to always like hang out, because it's just right there.
Yeah, and also like the rule is that we can't like leave our own town right now, so like we live in the same town, which is like awesome.
So we are not breaking any rules.
No rules.
FYI. Just in case someone out there is like, you guys aren't supposed to be together.
I burped. It tastes like miso soup.
So we made cookies earlier, and you burped earlier, and you're like,
Oh, it was
tasted
so
like cookies
nasty.
and miso soup.
It was gross. It was so nasty. Now I'm a burp. It's gonna taste like miso soup, cookies, and wine.
True. But we have 2 more years, or
2 more years. You drunk. You drunk.
But we have 2 more days till 2020 is officially over.
Yeah.
But, like, how would you say your year has been, like, this year?
I feel like this is so cliche, but like this year is a lot of self-growth.
Ah, yeah.
Because this year I started working out, like, even though I'm not as consistent as I would like I started taking it more seriously. This is my first year doing school, like,
full-time student?
Full-time student, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and then just seeking help with, like, my own personal issues and stuff like that. So I think this is, like, this year is a lot of
changes.
Self-growth in myself. That's what I feel like.
I had a talk with someone recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked that friend too, like, how she's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something similar, but she was saying, like, oh, like, she has progressed a lot in herself
Mm-hmm.
because she started doing things for herself and not others.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something everyone needs to do, because I think I came to that realization too this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I noticed that I do a lot of things for, like, so many people and so many family members and friends, and I'm, like, the type that, like, puts others ahead of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that it was taking a toll on me.
Yeah, it does over time.
Yeah, over time it does, and I was like, oh yeah, like, I need to...
Because you're constantly trying to, like, please other people.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you sit down and think about it, you're like, what do I want? What's going to make me happy for once? And
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I remember, like, this past, like, registering for school,
Yeah.
I didn't feel pressure from, like, anybody else. I'm like, I'm deciding this for me. Like, I'm doing my own path, my own time, what I think I can handle, not what
Yeah.
other people think I should be doing. And that felt good because, like, school is already stressful and stuff, so when you have outside pressure, it just adds to it.
I know, because every time, like, she's here every weekend. Okay, listen. She's here every weekend. And every weekend she's been here, like, she's been on her laptop for school. Like, every single weekend.
My backpack is right there.
On the same spot. Like, she'll sit right here and just
type. Do my math homework.
And I'm just sitting here, like, doing my thing. She's doing homework.
Or Lana.
Yeah. Both of you guys. Shout out to my video editor. But both of them were, like, sitting on opposite sides of the couch just on their laptop, like.
Yeah.
And I'm just,
and then now we're out of school and she's doing her
oh, yeah.
certification.
Now I'm... It's so funny because, like, you guys are done with school right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you guys finish school, like, I decide, like, oh, I'm going to renew my lab tech certification.
Yeah.
And no, I'm the one that has to be on the laptop now.
It's good. It's motivation.
No offense to NHA, but, like, I was on the website trying to renew my phlebotomy cert, and I was taking a quiz after the review for pediatric draw, and the questions, it was like, what do you say when you're drawing blood from, like, a 14-year-old? And the options were like, if you be a good boy, I'll give you a
Some
candy.
creepy
And I'm just
shit.
like, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna give anyone a candy. What are you talking about?
Like, you better sit down and just...
Like, not every 14, 13, 12-year-old will have the same mindset or same maturity level.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in that kind of situation, if I'm drawing blood from, like, a child or a teenager, like, I would, like, try to, like, conversate more beforehand to see where they're at, if I could tell if they're nervous or, like, if they're feeling any type of, like, anxiety. Yeah. Because I feel like it's different for everyone. Oh man, I remember I was getting like blood work done. Did you get like blood work done before moving here?
Like for the what is it, EFMP? No, that was a really weird like process for me. Like so like because I'm from Dallas, so they don't have like a base near, so I have to go to Fort Hood, which is like 2 hours south. And whenever I went, like I had the EFMP paper.
Yeah.
And a paper that my doctor had like signed. I can't really remember. But like you're supposed to go in there, they like interview you.
Yeah.
They did that, like it was like 5 minutes, and they're like, okay, like we'll give you a call. That was it. Like they didn't do any type of.
They didn't do like a physical or like a health check.
I guess because I had a recent one from my doctor. I think that's
what I took. Like your regular doctor.
Yeah, I think that's what I took. I can't remember, but yeah, that was it. Like I literally, I drove my tia, she took me 2 hours away just to do that.
And then afterwards, did you guys just drive back 2 hours?
Yeah, I drive, like literally drove 2 hours and then went back 2 hours. And then, so she lives 2 hours away from me, but not in that direction. So like that was down south. So she drove 2 hours from, I forgot what town she's from, but it's some little town. But it's like southwest. So she drove up to Dallas. Then drove me 2 hours down, 2 hours back, and I had to drive 2 hours back to her town. And like, cause she was military, so she was like, oh, I know, like I can help you or whatever.
Like where to go
and all that. But like literally, I was just only there for 5 minutes.
That's so.
So like I'm good. I'm like obviously like it's a good thing that I didn't have to do like too much, but at the same time I was like really I had to come. Like I could have just emailed the paperwork and then I wouldn't have to have come all the way down here and then have her come out.
Yeah.
I wish I got more pictures though. We kind of went there.
Honestly, my B&B was like right there. Oh, you can't see it, but let me tilt it up. But my TV is showing like a screensaver picture of Cinque Terre. Mm-hmm. Like literally, my B&B was like right there. But was it? I had to do like the physical or like there's a term for it, but I had to get blood work done, and they sucked. So
did they give you like a huge bruise or like poke you multiple times?
They poked me, and then it took them. I don't even know how long it took them, but it took them like a while for them to contact me to let me know that the blood wasn't good for testing.
Oh my god, that's annoying.
And I had to go back in to draw again, but like. I was like already like, can I just poke myself? Like,
oh, because they weren't doing it right.
Yeah, and
like, give me that. I got this.
And I feel like you should know, like, so whenever we poke blood from people or draw blood from people, we like feel for the vein and see like how big it is, just so we can decide what size needle to use. Because if you use the needle that's too small, it could damage your blood cells.
Oh, shit.
And then if it gets damaged, then it's not good for testing.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like...
I could have done this myself.
Yeah, like this is what I do for work.
Like give it to me.
Yeah.
I, like, medical, like... I don't even know if it's like government medical people. I don't know. Don't quote me on. I don't know. But like,
don't
like when I went to MEPS, like the medical people, like, they were so like rude and angry and like they hated their jobs and stuff. Which I mean, I don't know like what happens, but like you're constantly processing people, so maybe it is annoying because like half of these people might not even go to the military. Like you know what I mean? Like people back out. That's like not. The first swearing, like, you know how there's, like, 2 swearings? There's the first and the second.
Oh, or like when you sign, give your fingerprint, and then, like, the official on the flag, hand up swearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know if they're, like, if they feel that way because, like, oh, this person might not even go, but I have to, like, do all this shit. Like, I don't know, but it was, like, that was...
But it's like, not like they're not getting paid for it.
Yeah. It was early, though. Like, that night, my first night at, like, when I slept at the hotel for MEPS, I didn't sleep at all. Like, I was so nervous. And I think it's because, like, I think it's because of the drug test. Like, I didn't do drugs, but I was around people who, like, basically secondhand. And I was so nervous. Like, I was like, that's it. Like, I'm not going to be able to go. Da 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 da. And then, like, you know how, like, they watch you and stuff? So it made me more nervous. Oh. And, like, the day, like, I didn't know, like, if it was going to happen. Like, if, like, the second hand was going to be able, like, to pick up or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was drinking a shitload of water. So I was like, maybe, like, they're going to be able, like, oh, you have to come back and do it. Like, it's too clear, like, too, what is it called, diluted or whatever. I was so nervous. So I didn't sleep at all. And we had to, like, wake up at 4, get to the place by 5. And we ended up, like, well, I ended up leaving, like, done with everything, like, at 2 o'clock. And the thing is, like, you can't have your watch. You can't have your phone. There's, like, no clocks or anything in the room. It might be different for every facility, but we didn't know what time it was. Like, we were just kind of, like, there waiting.
Like, in limbo.
Yeah. And, like, we would look outside because, like, it's in downtown. So
you're making it sound like a prison. Like, there was nothing. I was looking outside through a window.
We were literally looking out the windows and being like, it looks like it's, like, 10 o'clock. I don't know.
Damn.
But that was something else.
At least you didn't get misdiagnosed.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, before, I told you about this, right? Before I moved here, I did, like, a physical, and everything was fine. But then right before I was supposed to fly out here, I started getting, like, this really bad cramp. And then I went to the ER, and...
No!
That was a mistake. I should not have... But apparently my intestine was inflamed.
Oh, fuck.
And the doctor... Oh my god, I hate it when they misdiagnose people. But the doctor diagnosed me with Crohn's disease.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a digestive disease. And, like, if you have it, you can't eat certain foods because it'll cause, like, inflammation. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't have it. And then, like, this shit I don't like about doctors. Like, they find one thing, and then they make me test for other things, too. And then they're like, oh, you also have a heart murmur. And I'm like...
Me, too. Oh, my God. That's later, though. I'll take it later.
I know, and I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with me? And then it took 4 months. 4 months and 4 different doctors to find out that I do not have Crohn's disease. And they couldn't send me out here until I prove I don't have it.
So you're just waiting?
Yeah. Because, like, if I do have it, they have to find a GI specialist here.
Oh, yeah.
For me.
In order to be... I'm burping. Sorry. It's coming up.
But it was... Oh, man. My mom was pissed. She's like... I know my daughter. She does not have this. I would know.
Yeah. Because that's, like, something, like... You would know, like, before even doing all that.
That's not something that, like, you just, like, oh, you have this.
Yeah.
And throw it at your face.
Yeah. I was kind of... I forgot what the test was, where they, like, prick your skin, and it's supposed to create a rash. What is it called?
Like a bubble? Are you talking about, like, a...
The
TB test.
TB, yeah. That's what they misdiagnosed me with. Because I saw, like, the lady, I can't really remember exactly, but she was, like, I don't know, like, squishing it together, and I was like, why is she doing that? And so it came out positive, and my mom was like, no, like, there's no way. So she made me go to, like, my regular, like, care doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, like, tell me what she did and blah, blah, blah. So I explained to him, like, she did the test and then, like, she was squeezing it and all this and that. And he was like, squeezing it? And I was like, yeah, like, she was, like,
you're not supposed
pinching my skin together. And he was like, no, like, I think she misdiagnosed you. And I don't really remember the rest. But basically, like, he filled out a paper saying that, like, it was a false, like, positive.
False positive?
Positive or false negative, whatever it is.
Man, the mind and body is so crazy. Everything is just so connected.
Yeah. Like, when Michael had corona, I kept telling myself, like, I'm not sick. Like, anytime, like, I felt, like, a scratch or, like, my nose was stuffy, I'm like, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Like, I didn't want to start freaking out because I know, like, like if you start telling yourself these things,
then you're gonna
start showing symptoms of whatever.
Oh man, COVID.
And like people who don't like, I try explaining that to people, and they're like, no, there's no way. But like you have mind and muscle connection too. Like if you really think about it, like let me flex my glutes, and you can like flex your glutes. Or if you want to focus like on certain parts of your body, you can specifically like target certain things, like just using mind and muscle memory.
True.
So like why wouldn't you be able to like trick yourself into getting sick when you can literally just make that connection like that? Or like you just do it like naturally.
True. Oh, but speaking of TB, fun fact, I'm actually TB positive.
Uh-huh.
But then I got diagnosed with it when I was a kid, and I took medication for it for a couple months. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to take a TB test for the rest of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you already had it when you were younger.
Mm-hmm. And then I took medication for it, and now it's like dormant.
Is it like chickenpox? Like where you have it when you're little?
And I have like this, I have a card like on my shot record that says no more TB tests. And I'm like, damn. There was one time in my high school, back on Guam, Ukuru High School. I don't know if anyone ever remembers this incident. I graduated 2012, but there was an incident where there was like a...
I'm like, I keep thinking like we're the same age.
Oh no! But there was an incident where there was a TB outbreak in my high school.
Is it because the island's small?
Yeah, that too. But literally all the students, everyone had to get tested in school.
It's like Corona.
Just like Corona.
Oh my god.
It was crazy.
So did they like just have like everybody like mandatory like testing or whatever?
Yeah.
Even like teachers and stuff?
Everyone.
Oh my god. I remember this like just popped up in my head whenever I did like when I got tested like for TB or whatever. I had to go wear like a mask at the doctor's office. It was funny because everybody was like, I went like to the receptionist or like the lady at the front desk.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you need to put this on. So I put the mask on, and this was like 2019, like summer, and everybody was looking at me like crazy, like what the fuck does this bitch have? Like, and I'm just like, now look at everybody wearing masks.
Look at me
but
now.
But that's like so smart, like. Why, like, in my head, I'm like, why, like, if you know you're sick or, like, have the flu or a cold, why, like, don't people, like, or, like, I used to work at Walgreens, so, like, why didn't we wear masks, especially during, like, flu season, or, like the time, like, the season where, you know, people are going to be sick.
Yeah. Like, people in Korea, like, they've been using masks.
It's, like, normal.
Yeah. Only because, like, the pollution in the air is so bad. That's the only reason why, like, they've been wearing masks, because there's so many, like, fine dust, and, like, the air is so polluted there. And
it's just normal to them.
It's normal, yeah. So I feel like when this whole, like, COVID thing broke out, like, Korean people were like, okay, like, we've been doing this.
Yeah. Because, like, whenever I did work at Walgreens, I was like, I'm dealing with people who are sick, like, exchanging money, like, touching items that they touch, like, I don't know, it's just, like, to me, or, like, whenever I used to work at fast food, I wasn't sick, but I lost my voice, and they still made me work.
What?
Yeah, I was a server, so I was like, how am I going to talk to people? And they're like, oh, well, we need you to come in, we don't have enough people. So I went to work, and people were looking at me like crazy, like, because I couldn't talk. I was like, hi, can I take you? Like, raspy. And they kind of looked at me like, ew, like, this girl's, like, she lost her voice, she must be sick, and she's going to, like, bring our food out, and, like, I don't know, like, I was, like, it was embarrassing for, like, my job, like, the restaurant, because...
Like, why would you
make me work, and, like, this is impacting, like, business, like, I'm surprised those people didn't get up and walk out. Like, I would have, like, if I know, like, somebody is sick,
right, like,
dealing with my food, like, that's kind of gross.
It makes no sense. Do you have, like, everyone has a New Year's resolution? Like, what do you want to do? in the next following year?
I've been thinking about it, but because like it's always like the same, like, oh, I want to eat healthier, I want to work out, I want to do this and that. I want to start journaling. Like I've always like told myself like, yeah, I'll journal or whatever. It is. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to journal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do it every day or like a monthly check-in, like with myself, something along those lines. And I also want to start documenting my dreams, like writing down my dreams. Because I dream so vividly, and like I'm the type of person like when I wake up and if I remember like my dream, I'll Google it. And I believe like dreams
have meanings behind it,
and sometimes they are just pretty random. But
I feel like a lot of them, like, you have them for a reason.
Yeah.
Either you have something on your mind or, like, because, like, things are changing in your life.
And, like, sometimes I want to look back and be like, if something happens in my life and I look back at my dreams, be like, oh, this was me, like, subconsciously.
Yeah.
Telling myself this is going to happen. Because my mom does that. She'll write down her dreams and stuff like that.
I never thought about that, actually, but that's a good idea. Because my cousin from Korea visited me here last year, I think. And she was telling me that I should do this thing where I write down, every year I write down who I am as a person and what I like and what I enjoy that moment. And then the next following year, I look back at it and see what kind of person I was back then and then update it every year.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, or like, even like, well, this kind of mixes in like with journaling, but I remember in school they would make us write like a letter to ourselves, like our future selves. And I still have my letter like from when I was in middle school, and it's like, I hope in high school I do this, and after high school I do that. And it's not accurate at all, but it's cool to see. It's funny because it's like, so Booker T. Washington was like the art school.
Yeah.
And in my thing, I was like, I'm going to attend Booker T for dance, and then I'm going to be a dancer after college, and this and that. And I'm like, nope, it is not true. But it's funny, like, it's cute to look back at and stuff.
But then, like, I want to do that, but at the same time, like, I'm, like, starting this, like, whole, like, wine and talk with friends thing. And I feel like this is also
like
something, like, we could look back at this, like, a year later and be like, oh my god, Val, look at that. You know who has really crazy dreams?
Who?
Candace.
Really?
Yeah. She's our other friend. She, like, spent, like, 4 days here for Christmas, literally. Have been living here for 4 days. But one day we woke up in the morning and she told me she had a really weird dream. And I was like, what? And she said she died in her dream, like 4 times, over and over again. But each time, like, it was a reset. So she was, like, going through the
like a
thing.
movie.
Yeah, and, like, she was trying to, like, do everything differently each time, but she would still die.
I can remember, like, my recent dream. So this is just one scene that's stuck in my mind. So imagine a desert. Just like not like no trees, no like plants or anything, just sand dunes.
Yeah.
There was a like golden sunset with like purple. This is how descriptive I can remember shit. It was like purple, like pink, like in the sky, and there was like a mirror, like a regular like personal mirror right there, and I'm looking, like, so whenever I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I can see the desert, I can see the sunset, and there's a white horse, like, going by, and I'm recording myself, and I don't look like me, I look like the best version of myself, so, like, what I picture myself to be, like, more fit, longer hair, like, what I want.
You already have longer
hair. Longer hair, like how I want to dress and stuff like that. And I'm just like recording myself, like as if I was taking like a selfie. And it's just so weird, like
it's so random.
That it's random, and then I forgot like what all this meant, but I looked up like what does like seeing a mirror mean.
Yeah.
What does a white horse
Every
mean?
time she burps, she announces that she burps. Every time you're like,
I'm sorry, I'm burping.
I'm burping. I burped.
Like, I looked up what a sunset means. Like, I looked up, like, what does the desert mean? I don't remember the definitions. But it's basically, like, one thing was negative, but since I saw all these other things, it meant, like, oh, I'm recognizing this negative thing, and all these positive things are going to happen because I recognize that, and I'm a change. So that gives me, like, I guess subconsciously it's telling me, like, I know what's going on, like, with myself, and you're gonna be better.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's true, but that's what it says.
I feel like that's actually really good because, like, a lot of people have a hard time recognizing what
they need to work on.
Yeah, what they need to work on and what they need to improve on with themselves. Because, like, it's hard for people to change or, like, be better if they don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning of this year, it's so crazy. Like, within a year, like, in the beginning of the year, I thought I was good. I was fine. Like, I don't need to change or anything. Yeah. Like, I'm content with where I'm at with myself and my life. And then now I only have, like, 2 days left of the year, and I'm just like, man, I am shit.
I have
issues, yeah. And, like, how you said earlier, like, this year was, like, the year of self-discovery. This year is the year of, like, me finding out all my problems.
Yeah, which is, like, it hurts, but it's a good thing. Because it means you're recognizing everything. So, in order to recognize the negative things about yourself, you have to reflect. And it sucks because you're like, damn, like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that.
Yeah,
but it's motivation to be better.
And I feel like the more you think about it, the more you get in your thoughts. And it's just, then it starts to, like, slowly bring you down before you can start working on it.
Yeah.
And it just, like, crashes down. And you realize all these things all at once. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm not good. Like,
I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah, I don't want, like, this is not where I thought I would be in my life. Like,
and I think, like, quarantine has a lot to do with that because, like, we were all, like, cooped up in the house and stuff like that. So you have time to, like, really think about everything, be in your thoughts.
That's true, yeah.
And I think that's why, like, a lot of people started, like, their own businesses, and not just because, like, financial reasons, but it's because they had time to think, like, oh,
what they like to enjoy
what they enjoy doing and stuff.
I think, yeah, because, like, my sister started her own little, like, crocheting business. Like, she crochets, like, crop tops and, like, she makes jewelries and stuff, and she made, like, an Etsy account. I'll put it down there.
Yeah, shout out
to my sister.
And then
she's so creative.
Huh? Did Daniela start her business this year?
Yeah, her too. Daniela too. But, like, all these, like, self-businesses started, and it's so amazing, and I'm just over here, like, what do I like?
Like, what am I gonna do? Yeah.
Where am I at with my life? I told Tim this too, but I don't remember if it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I was, like, upstairs, and I was looking out the window, and my thought, I was just thinking to myself, I sound crazy, but in my mind I was like, what if all of this is a simulation, and, like, our real selves in reality, like we're going through all this right now in the simulation because our real selves in reality don't know what emotions and pain is, so we have to go through all this in order to form, like, who we are in reality.
Oh my, you were looking out the window and you
I was like, damn, I must be.
I can imagine you're like
I don't know. My mind just kept running. Like, I was just staring out the window, looking at the vineyard, and I was just like, what if all of this is not real and this is just all a simulation?
Yeah. I feel that way sometimes, like I get deja vu a lot, and, like, it hits me, like, I feel like that's what Raven has. She has, like, a vision.
Yeah, and
because it'll be happening, and I'll just freeze. I'm like,
I've seen this.
I've done this before. Like I've had this conversation before or something, whether it's in a dream or like maybe it did. I don't know, but it's crazy how those things happen. And I like where there's movies like saying like, oh, maybe there's like another planet, like in another dimension,
like a different reality.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that could be real. Like deja vu doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
Or like maybe this is my past life. Like
maybe one day I'll get to do this, but I really want to try the past life hypnotism.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
I want to try it.
Like where they like make you fall asleep and hypnotize you, and then they ask you questions about your past life. I've been watching like videos of that, and like people like give details like of their past life, like they remember everything in details, and I'm just like, how the hell? Like this one guy, like he got hypnotized and he was asleep, and the guy was talking to him and asking him questions about who he was, and he was like saying that like he grew up with siblings in his past life. He had like a younger brother and like a mom, and he grew up to be a doctor, and he was helping people, and I'm just like
so in detail.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And he even got emotional, like he was crying because in his past life he was saying he grew up to become a doctor because he couldn't save his mom from getting sick and dying. And I was like,
oh, that's so deep. Like
I was like, what?
But like people wouldn't get emotional just like, I feel like
for nothing.
For nothing. Yeah, like that emotional. Because I remember I saw like this podcast that I watched. It was a little boy, and he met this like supposedly like he was a soldier in World War II, World War One, like an airplane pilot, whatever. And he saw this man. Like the parents kept like saying like asking him questions about it. I don't remember like exactly what he said, but supposedly like he saw a picture of this man. And he was like, that was my best friend. And so they, like, the parents set something up to where they met. And he, like, knew all these details. The guy there, like, the man in the photo, like, he's already, like, old or whatever. He was, like, confirming, like, yes, this is true. This is true what he's saying. So they think, like, that boy was reincarnated. Oh, he said, like, that's me.
Like, in a
picture, it was, like, him and, like, and the older man, like the guy, his best friend, and he was saying like, "Oh, that's me." And so like whenever they met, the older man was saying like, "Yes, this is true." Like what he's saying, like it's impossible for him to know like all these things. So they think like he was reincarnated.
Oh my gosh.
Supposedly, when you dream of somebody dying, you're giving them more life. That means they're gonna live longer.
Candace, you're gonna live longer.
Because I would call my mom and be like, I had a dream my dad died, or I had a dream that somebody died, and they're like, oh, or my grandma, my grandma, and she'll be like, oh, she's gonna live until she's 100 years old. She's gonna have a long life because supposedly that's what it like. Unless the situation like, say for instance, like, oh, my grandma has cancer or whatever, and she has a few days left and she dies. That could be like, oh, because what you're experiencing in that, like in real life, you're dreaming about it and it could possibly happen. But if there's like no correlation, like if it's random, supposedly it means that you're giving that person more life. Hi.
She's cat loafing over there.
Yeah, she's out of frame.
Oh.
Like how would like when I don't want to say if because we are gonna die, but I don't like saying it like that. So whenever like you die. What is something like you would do to let your family know, like, hey, this is me? Like example, this podcast I watched, the girl, her grandma told this story about a wine glass tipping over and like falling, and like just some random story. And the day that it was her burial, they were at the table and the champagne like bottle, like it popped open and the glass like just tipped over. And it shows like the footage or whatever, like because they have cameras, and you just see like the thing go up and then the glass break. And they're like, oh my god, like that's grandma.
Something
or like a butterfly, like somebody said that somebody, like the wife, like loved butterflies, and like the day of the burial, like a butterfly came and like sat on their shoulder.
I have a story like that, cause like, so my parents got divorced when me and my sister were like in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So we were still pretty young, and we ended up living with our mom. So my mom was raising us basically as a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandma flew from Korea to Guam to help my mom raise us.
Mm-hmm.
So basically my mom and my grandma, mostly my grandma because she stayed home with us all the time,
Mm-hmm.
she raised us, and she had to get an open heart surgery,
Mm-hmm.
which was very like high risk for
Mm-hmm.
the age she was at.
Mm-hmm.
But we like pushed to get it done
Mm-hmm.
so she could be healthier.
Yeah.
And the day she went in for her open heart surgery, because she went to Korea for it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was in college, and I was in between classes. I had that little bit of time before my next class.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like sitting in the courtyard by myself before I go to my next class for
Mm-hmm.
college. And out of nowhere, this like weak butterfly that
Mm-hmm.
could like barely fly landed on my chest. Yeah, and I was like, oh, and I just sat there with the
Mm-hmm.
butterfly on my chest for like a good minute because I didn't want it to like fly away.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sat there with the butterfly. And like right before I had to go to class, I like took it in my hands and I like laid it on a leaf,
Mm-hmm.
on a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to class, and later on that same day,
Mm-hmm.
that night, I got the news that my grandma didn't make it after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my god.
Like the weak butterfly was her.
Yeah.
Like she was kind of like in between. I don't know if it's true. Like in between worlds.
Yeah, because
what I
like
thought.
after the surgery and I was still in school,
Mm-hmm.
they told us that like that she was out and she was doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But later that, because like with any surgery, it takes time to find out if you
Like
if it's good or not.
Yeah.
It takes a couple days. But like after surgery, they let us know like, oh, she's out of surgery, she's
Mm-hmm.
resting right now, like
Yeah.
she's still okay. But later on that day,
Mm-hmm.
I found out like, oh,
She
she,
didn't make it.
yeah. And I was like,
And you just
that
like instantly made that connection.
made that connection, yeah. And I was like, oh my god, that was my grandma.
Yeah. Like even though
Yeah.
like they probably didn't want to like say anything because you're like in school or.
Yeah.
And so that was your.
So they let us know when both me and my sister were at home.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, when they did have the funeral for my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
the flower arrangement
Mm-hmm.
on top of the cause like at this point, like I have told no one about the butterfly incident.
Mhm.
Like
You
no
just kept
one.
it to yourself.
Yeah, I kept it to myself. And then the flower arrangement on top of my grandma's casket looked like a butterfly.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, no, there is no way. There is no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was so mind blown. I was like, this is not happening. Yeah, so I like full on believe like
Mhm.
that was my grandma
Mhm.
with me.
There is one thing that I felt like, because when my grandpa on my dad's side he lived in Mexico, so like I don't really see them that much. And whenever he passed away whenever I was younger, so it's been like, oh shit, his anniversary is coming up. It's been like I don't know how many years, but this is how I kind of know. I don't know if it's just me being like, but this is how I know my grandpa is always with me, because my dad, whenever I went back to the States to like do my visa and stuff, my dad was wearing a shirt that said Venezia, Venice, Italy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dad, like where'd you get that shirt? Like did you, like how long have you, like it was just weird to me, like, oh I live in Italy, you know, like
Yeah.
it's weird, like coincidence. And he was like, oh, this was your grandpa's shirt. And I was like, did he go to Italy? He's like, no, it's just his shirt, like he had it. And I don't know if it's just like coincidental, he just has a shirt. But like, even though I don't live in Venice, but I just thought like, there's like, that's weird, you know?
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I remember there was a post like on, you know, on Facebook, like it would show like locations. It was Cinque Terre. And it was before me and Michael got married, before we found out like the duty station we were going to, that we were coming here. And it was like the 5 towns. And I typed this in. I was like, one day I'll be sipping wine, enjoying this view. And it was of Manarola, like the most famous one. And then I remember seeing it like on my memories, and I was like, it's gonna happen. And then sure enough, it fucking happened. And I was just like, I literally spoke it. Not spoke, but like typed it into existence.
Oh my god.
And like before me and Michael came here, I was like, what if we got Italy? Like, haha, like joke. Like, what if we got Italy? Like, we didn't say any other country. Like, we thought Fort Bragg, and I was like, what if we get sent to like Italy or something? I don't know. And then they came over here.
Oh my gosh. I feel that way too, because my high school on Guam, I was in the tourism and lodging program, and we had to do this one project where we have to take a place in the world and present it in a tourism point of view, and I chose Venice, Italy. Who would have thought? And like I remember in high school, like I put this whole slideshow together about Venice, Italy, like the history and the food and presenting it.
And now you
and like the first time I went to Venice, Italy, I was like, oh my god.
It's like It's
I'm
like
here.
The first thing I thought was like, it looks like a painting. It doesn't look real.
Yeah. Like right when you get out the train station
and
in Venice.
On the bridge.
It's like, wow, like.
Yeah, and when people are asked, like, what does it look like? I'm like, it just doesn't look real. Like, I don't know if it's because, like, the time of day or, like, I don't know what it was. The way the architecture is, it just doesn't look real. I didn't know where the hotel, like, Lizzie McGuire stayed at, like, in the movie. And we went to the Trevi Fountain the first night we got there, like, at night. And it's literally right in front of the Trevi Fountain. I didn't know. I googled it like when we got back to the hotel, and I was like, no way! Like apparently it's like the only fountain, the only hotel like in that area, like where the Trevi Fountain is. It's like right in front. And I was like, no fucking way! Like I wanted to see it, and I told him I was like, if we have time, then we can. Like he was like, if we have time, we can go back. And I'm like, if I don't see it, it's oh well, you know. Honestly? It's not that big of a deal. Whenever we went to Venice, it was for New Year's, like this past New Year's. And I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to see fireworks, and I wanted to ride what's it called? The gondola.
The gondola.
That's all I knew I wanted to do that for sure. And so we basically like just walked around, took random pictures, went to the square, and that's all we did. Honestly, we ate we ate at restaurants and like at bars.
Yeah.
And we're just walking around until like the last like 2 hours, and then Fireworks, yeah. But Michael, he was freaking out because we took so we got an Airbnb like in the town like outside of Venice.
Yeah.
And then we rode the bus.
The bus?
Yeah, the bus.
Into the island?
Into the island, yeah. And then got off at the station and then walked around. And the lady was like, oh, like, take this bus back or whatever. And there's, like, water taxis and stuff like that. So Michael was like, how are we going to get back? Like, are you sure? Like, it's New Year's Eve. Like, they're going to run past midnight. I'm like, babe, this is, like, when they're going to make their money. There's people everywhere. There's thousands of people here right now. Like,
FYI, Venice, there's like the city Venice, and then there's like the island Venice. Where
it's like completely different. Yeah.
Like the island Venice is where all the tourists go to, like what you see like in movies and pictures. And then there's like the city
Venice,
where it's like ghetto and like where all the local Italians live. Yeah. And this year for New Year's, we're just gonna we ordered seafood. We ordered seafood paella. Yeah. And just like be at the house. This will be the last video I shoot before 2021. So I hope that in the next year that our friendship will blossom more.
Yeah.
And we would have more adventures and more girls trip and more hopefully we'll be able to travel a lot more. Yeah, together. Plus Daniela.
Yes.
And I hope for the next year that the COVID situation gets better.
Yeah.
And I do know like the vaccines are rolling out now, so hopefully we'll be able to like get vaccinated safely and have like a safer like lighter travel restriction, I guess you could say.
Yeah. It depends like on the time too. Like right now it's winter and like flu season, so maybe like spring, late spring,
or like
early
or summer. Maybe then we could have like more opportunities to be out there, and I could start vlogging
more. Yeah. There ain't nothing exciting going on in quarantine.
Maybe we could do like a girls trip vlog.
Yeah.
Okay. So I look forward to that.
Me too. We don't even have any more to 2021. Empty glass in 2021.
I wish you bluebirds in the spring.